Did you know that in the US, over 90% of public school funding comes from local and state sources, which means that the education kids receive can vary dramatically depending on where they live. This staggering fact raises some serious questions about the role of politicians in shaping our education system. Are they really working in the best interests of students and teachers, or are they hijacking schools to push their own agendas? The challenges faced by schools due to political interference are numerous and far-reaching. For one, funding cuts can have devastating effects on schools, forcing them to make difficult decisions about which programs to cut and which teachers to lay off. This can lead to a decline in the quality of education, making it even harder for students to succeed. Additionally, curriculum changes can be imposed without considering the needs and opinions of teachers, students, and local communities. This top-down approach can stifle creativity and innovation in the classroom. Another major issue is the constant policy shifts, which can create a sense of uncertainty and instability in schools. Teachers and administrators are forced to adapt to new policies and guidelines, taking away from the time and energy they could be dedicating to teaching and learning. Furthermore, the emphasis on standardized testing and accountability measures can lead to a narrow focus on test prep, sacrificing critical thinking and creativity in the process. The consequences of political interference can be seen in the way schools are managed and run. School boards and administrators are often forced to navigate a complex web of regulations and bureaucracy, taking away from their ability to make decisions that are in the best interests of their students. This can lead to a lack of autonomy and flexibility, making it harder for schools to respond to the unique needs of their students. The impact of political interference can also be seen in the way teachers are valued and supported. When politicians dictate how teachers should teach and what they should teach, it can lead to a lack of trust and respect for the profession. Teachers are forced to follow rigid guidelines and scripts, rather than being encouraged to innovate and try new approaches. This can lead to burnout and low morale, making it harder to attract and retain top teaching talent. In recent years, we've seen numerous examples of politicians impacting educational policies. For instance, the introduction of Common Core standards was a highly controversial issue, with many arguing that it was an overreach of federal power. More recently, the debate around charter schools and school choice has been highly polarized, with some arguing that it's a necessary step towards reform, while others see it as a threat to public education. One example that stands out is the way that politicians in some states have pushed for voucher programs, which allow students to use public funds to attend private schools. While proponents argue that this increases choice and competition, critics argue that it drains valuable resources from already underfunded public schools. The impact on local communities can be significant, as public schools are often the heart of the community, providing vital services and support. Another example is the way that politicians have responded to issues like school safety and gun violence. While some have called for increased funding for mental health services and school counselors, others have pushed for more draconian measures, such as arming teachers. The consequences of such policies can be far-reaching, and it's essential that we consider the potential impact on students, teachers, and local communities. Take, for example, the story of a high school in Arizona that was forced to abandon its highly successful arts program due to budget cuts. The impact on the students was devastating, as many had been using the program as a way to express themselves and build confidence. The community was outraged, but the decision had already been made, and the program was shut down. This is just one example of the real-world consequences of political decisions on students and educators. The students at this high school were not just losing an arts program, they were losing a vital part of their education. They were losing the opportunity to explore their creativity, to develop their critical thinking skills, and to build meaningful relationships with their peers. This is what happens when politicians hijack schools, imposing their own agendas without considering the needs and opinions of those most affected. In conclusion, it's essential that we take a step back and re-examine the role of politicians in shaping our education system. We need to find a balance that allows for innovation and creativity, while also ensuring that schools are accountable and responsive to the needs of their students. The education of our children is too important to be hijacked by political agendas. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about education and policy, be sure to check out our other videos on the topic.